Hello friends and welcome to another 3-Minute Game Pass. I'm Nathan and today I'm going to tell you if this Game Pass game is worth your time and bandwidth. Today's game is Fable Anniversary. From a tiny acorn, a mighty oak may grow. And this time with remastered graphics and in HD. Is the first fantasy epic in the Peter Molyneux Lies About Everything trilogy worth revisiting? Let's find out. Fable Anniversary is an Xbox 360 game, so you know the drill. Gets some minor upgrades on Series S and X with auto HDR and upgraded resolution, but that's about it. And the game will last you about 10 to 13 hours. So what exactly is Fable Anniversary? Well, it's an Xbox 360 remaster of an original Xbox game, Fable, which is an action RPG with a big emphasis on do as you want and the world reacting to your character's life choices. You play as a titular quote-unquote hero, which is apparently a profession in this world. After your village is burned and your family murdered, you're whisked away to Hero Academy to be trained in the ways of being a badass. After doing a lot of tutorials, you're on your way to make your mark on the world for good or for evil. Fable's main gimmick is the promise of freedom. While you follow structured quests to the end of the game, in between those you are free to do all sorts of wacky stuff. Drink yourself drunk, eat until you're morbidly obese, get married multiple times, then give your spouse to a dark god for power, rob every store blind and drain the economy. There's lots of zany stuff you can do in Fable, and that's where its charm comes in. For the actual game itself, you engage in combat with either 3 types of abilities, magic, melee, or ranged, or you can use all 3. Killing enemies with one of these 3 types drops XP orbs specific to that particular ability, encouraging you to kind of min-max one area if you want. Go all in on melee, go on magic, but you can spread it out as well. There's also a ton of weapons and magic to choose from. All in all, this is a semi-open world adventure with an emphasis on doing good or bad, but the game focuses on the fact mostly that it gives you that choice. So what do I like about Fable Anniversary? I actually really like the morality system. I know it's really basic, but it's fun considering the tone of the world. It's a fable. Villagers also react to you if you're good or bad and so on, which I thought was really cute. There's a lot of dynamic world interaction based on how you've built your character up. The game also has a really fun sense of humor. It's really British, and it does not take itself even remotely seriously. And I love it. I find it to be absolutely hilarious in that regard. And the game is janky as all hell, and I love that. Crash the markets, lure everyone out of town, kill them, and rent their homes out to their orphans. Get the best sword and bow within the first half hour of the game. This game is incredibly janky. Its freedom means you can break it in a lot of ways, and I love games where you can do that, and this is a great one for that. When it comes to the bad, combat is about as deep as a puddle. It isn't particularly engaging. You either hit the enemy with your sword, you hit the enemy with a charge move for your sword, or you shoot them with your bow or with magic. That's pretty much the game. Not particularly complex. And also, for a game purporting to have a ton of freedom, once you start pulling at the threads, you'll find there isn't as much as you think. A lot of it is superficial, which to me is okay, but it doesn't live up to the promises that the game makes. And lastly, the main story plot is just obscenely dull. The story itself cannot compare with your own crafted personal stories of all the wacky shit you did just goofing off. And so, in comparison to that, this main plot just is so completely bland. So as you know, I rate games on a 3-point scale. Must play, maybe consider, don't bother. Fable Anniversary is definitely a maybe consider. Fable is a dated game, no doubt about it, even with the facelift. It also falls short of pretty much everything Peter Molyneux promised and is Jank City, USA. But despite all that, I can't help but love it. The game's goofy attitude, charmingly dorky character designs, and jank-ass morality system and interactions somehow all combined together into something that is far more than the sum of its parts. It isn't some grand RPG or an enduring masterpiece, but it is absolutely fun for a dozen hours, and you can also wear hideous outfits and fart on school children. What more do you want? That's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. Go out there and enjoy Fable Anniversary.